Hello and welcome to the SKYRIM channel, and 4 months ago I told you this.
I apologize for the loud fan, but if you guys want to see me build a computer here out of scratch, like I'm talking everything you see here out of scratch, just build a computer, then be sure to hit that like button, and that'll let me know if you guys really want me to like just see what this place has and see what kind of crazy system we can build out of this entire warehouse of parts.
And to deliver my word, here I present to you Red Dragon, the i7 Crossfire gaming PC built from scratch. So to give some background information to this build, since it has been a while, in June of this year I visited FreeGeek, a non-profit organization that recycles, reuses, and even refurbishes used computer hardware. And as you guys saw, the main draw of FreeGeek is all the old computer hardware goodness that is available in their warehouse. And because of that, I was really motivated to see if it was possible to build a complete working gaming PC out of scratch just from all the parts scattered around their warehouse.
Jeez. Alright, okay. Wait.
Okay, put it on the side.
Oh. Alright.
And through lots of searching and luck, Red Dragon was born. And because this was built out of a warehouse where we had to search and salvage for parts, this is literally the most odd gaming PC you could ever build. Like, imagine if you ran a random PC part generator, you get this system. This is by far the most unique gaming PC I have ever built. So please, if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to go above and beyond, then hit that bell notification button. I'm just a college student who has a huge fascination for computer hardware, and I do what I can to get out awesome content like this to you guys. So that'd be much appreciated, not just for me, but also for my editor Melly, who's editing this video. And this is probably gonna be his most ambitious editing project yet, but I know I'm always gonna kill it. Right, Melly? Anyways, before I continue, I'd like to give a huge shout out to FreeGeek in Fayetteville, which allowed me to take a full 3 days to create this beautiful Frankenstein computer. Also want to give thanks to Sherry and her team for taking extra time out of their weekend for helping me out behind the scenes for creating Red Dragon. This also goes for their amazing workspace, tools, selfless labor, and hardware availability that they offered me. So yet again, huge thanks to FreeGeek in Fayetteville. So for every single one of you watching this video, please check out FreeGeek Fayetteville's website, Facebook page, and donation page that I've linked in the description down below. And as I said, FreeGeek is a non-profit volunteer-based organization, so they're always looking for volunteers to help out with their daily tasks. So for all my hashtag SCATFam located in the Northwest Arkansas region who are wanting to help out a good cause by saving old computer hardware and the environment, then consider volunteering at FreeGeek. And finally, to finish up, here is some common questions about FreeGeek that I'd like to clarify for all of you considering getting involved with them. Also, this isn't the only FreeGeek in the United States. There are many others, some in other states, so do a quick Google search and see if there's a FreeGeek near you. Now, onto the build. To begin, building Red Dragon was a general challenge, and unlike other PC builds I've made in the past, I had no clue what was going to be in this PC. I was literally at the mercy of FreeGeek's inventory, which had its many surprises. To kick off the build, the first thing I had to search for was the CPU that I had to base the entire build around, which I had medium success in. Hey guys, so a little update. We did some digging for the past 5 or 10 minutes, and so after looking at this whole entire CPU stack, unfortunately, we were informed that all these LGA 1155 and 1156 processors don't exactly have any working motherboards currently, so we probably can't build an LGA 1155 or LGA 1156 system. In the end, the best CPU I could find with a compatible motherboard that was in stock was the Intel Core 2 Quad 8300 based off of the LGA 775 socket. But seeing as my options were limited at the time, and before that I had built Freedom the week before filming that, which utilized a Q6600, my confidence on going with an LGA 775 CPU for modern 2017 gaming was really low. So I decided to switch up my game plan, and I tried to find a pre-built desktop computer that I could salvage a CPU from. That is what people here at FreeGeeks call the meat pile. All of those are unprocessed. They have no clue what are in those computers. We don't even know either. So to find the best kind of processor and motherboard possible,
our best bet is gonna have to go into that pile and see what the heck we can find.
At first, I judged system specifications based off of these CPU stickers that were on them, and funny enough, there were some systems that didn't even sport the processor that I was looking for.
Optiplex, it looks brand new-ish. Well, I mean, as in, it's kind of recent. It's pretty trashed up, but hopefully there will be a workable i3 processor in here that we could use. Oh my gosh. So hopefully there's something good in here, but there's a lot of crap in here. I don't think this is an AMD Phenom. I don't think so. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I mean, they did say they replaced all the parts.
It's got the Intel sticker on it. I've seen these systems. There's no way this is a Phenom.
And some didn't even have their freaking motherboard in them.
Actually, at Free Geeks, you can work on stuff, but just realize this. There's nothing. There's nothing in here.
And I mean, after that, my hopes were slowly diminishing.
Let's see, this, I cannot tell what processor there could be in here, but from my guess of it, it's gonna be one that's pretty poopy-ish, but this could be the best option that we have, potentially. I know, looking at this processor, this is probably a Bulldozer series or a Pile Driver series A6 APU. So it wouldn't be terrible, but we're definitely gonna need something more powerful than this,
So after much searching, I finally came across two PCs that looked very promising, and I decided to take the jump and see what was inside both of these beastly looking computers.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
That's,
So this is a pretty crazy looking system, but something tells me we could find something good. And then on another note, I actually didn't see this, but this thing looks super nice. You see this?
yeah.
So this is another PC in the meat pile. I didn't see this at first, but looking at the sticker, it's powered by ASRock. Something tells me that could be a custom system, which in that case, this could be a lifesaver or this could be a lifesaver.
The first desktop I looked at felt pretty good since it was very heavy and had a bit of a gamerish look to it. But when I actually opened it, then the narrative changed.
See that? Jeez, okay, so everything kind of fell out. This could be an LGA 775 system. All right, so here we have the motherboard, and it has an Intel Core of some sort. Something tells me this is an old motherboard. It's got SATA 2, but you know what? This system could be the best thing that we have, so I'm gonna keep this on standby.
But then on the last desktop I was looking to look at for the day, I struck what I thought was the best catch of the day.
This is probably the best looking system that I've come across so far, and I think we're gonna use it. It looks pretty clean. It's in the meat grinder, or no, meat pile. All right, so this is hopefully gonna be the miracle system. So far we found nothing good. The best we found was that old system that just everything just kind of spewed out. We're probably gonna have to go with that motherboard and CPU combo that we found last round. But we need to kind of clear some space up on this desk because it gets kind of crowded. And hopefully this PC won't spooge out parts like the last one. All right. Okay. This could be the best thing we've found so far. So first thing, there's a Z77 sticker. That can only mean one of two things. There's a Sandy Bridge processor in here that could be overclockable. If that is, then we may have just found our motherboard and CPU, which that is awesome. We've been like, what, searching for 30 minutes?
I think it's been more about an hour.
What I found was a pre-built system that at the time had an ASRock Z77 Extreme 4 motherboard, an unknown RAM capacity, and some sort of Sandy Bridge or Ivy Bridge processor. And how much RAM and what kind of processor I found was unknown, but the spec looked promising, so I kept the pre-built system for later. Note, I also salvaged the power supply from that system too, which was a Rosewheel Green Series 80 Plus power supply that sported 530 watts. Lastly, for the day, all we have to do is find a hard drive and a graphics card for the system to complete it. On a side note though, if you thought finding the processor was hard, then trying to find a competitive graphics card was even worse.
We looked here previously, and the best thing we could find so far was this 260, but that was upon first glance. So I'm probably gonna have to continue looking and see what else we can find. What is this? 4350? Really?
The majority of graphics cards at FreeGeek were at least 5 years old, and they were in the budget range of their graphics card series. But that also is to be expected since, they are donated graphics cards. What we found at first were old legends like the NVIDIA GTX 260, the ATI Radeon 2900 XT, and the 8800 GT. But at that point, I was like, if the graphics card doesn't have an HDMI port, then we're not going to use it. And that was a good rule since I eventually found this unknown graphics card with an HDMI port.
Okay, wait. Okay, alright, so I found this. Don't know what it is, but here's the good thing. See that? HDMI port. So, okay, this is a good sign. I don't know what card this is, but this could be the best bet we have, I think.
At first, I thought it looked like it was oddly familiar to a Gigabyte GTX 760, but upon talking to the staff, it was actually a Radeon HD 6670. But wait, there's more. I was also informed that there was a second HD 6670 in the graphics card pile, and after doing some research, I found out you can actually crossfire the Radeon HD 6670, and after that, just right after the bat, I found the second 6670. After picking that up, I went to the hard drive pile and found a 1TB Seagate hard drive to use for the main system drive.
We could go 1TB.
See if you can find a solid state drive.
Solid state? I don't know if we have any solid states here. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm thinking we played safe.
And just get the hard drive.
Yes, get the hard drive. Hopefully there's like a Western Digital blue here. That would be very nice. There we go. Okay, so we could probably go with this. 1TB Western Digital green. 32. This probably could be our best bet. This is the one that we want. This is a 1TB Seagate Barracuda 7200. That means it runs at 7200 RPM. This is 1TB, and I think this is going to be the best hard drive that we can find, probably for right now.
And now for a little intermission. If you made it to this point in the video, I assume you're gonna be invested for watching the rest of this video, which is great. And that's why I wanna remind you that there's that big red subscribe button below the video that is free to click on. There's also that bell notification button that is free to click on, and there's also that like button that is also free to click on. And it even turns blue when you do that. That stuff helps me and my editor out a ton, but now back to the video.
Hey guys, we're back for day 2, and today we're just going to be actually building the computer, testing it, and running it in certain games. Yesterday was just kind of like a full mess and just trying to get all the parts and all that. But we made a few little changes, and just to recap, we are actually using a different case. This is a modular Antec case of some sort that we're actually going to be using because it looks cooler in our opinion. And to recap the other parts that we have so far for the build, we have some sort of Sandy Bridge processor. We don't know if it's an i7 or i5, but since this is running on a Z77 ASRock Extreme 4 motherboard, it could be overclockable. And then here we have two Radeon 6670s that we're hopefully going to crossfire, and then a 1TB Seagate hard drive, and then an unknown RAM capacity of some sort that is DDR3 that's in this case. And then also here's another power supply. We don't know the wattage or anything, but we're probably going to assume it's going to be enough. And so far this is the build, and now we're going to get to building the entire computer.
Now on to day 2. I picked out a different case for the build, which was an old Antec Landboy Air Red case that looked hella dope, and I thought it would fit the Scrapyard theme of the gaming PC build very well. And from there on out, the disassembling and reassembling began. But all was going smoothly until we encountered putting in the hard drive, because we didn't exactly have a place to put it, as you can see. So what I came up with was filling that one installed 5.25-inch bay with a DVD drive, and from there, using my ScatterVolt geniusness, I installed the 1TB Seagate hard drive by putting 3M tape onto the back of the hard drive and slapping it onto the DVD drive, and it worked flawlessly. After nicely tidying up everything with cable ties and the correct cable routing, I powered up the system, and by the PC Master Race gods, the beast was able to boot up into the BIOS. But wait, there's more. Now you may have just saw me celebrating over the fact that a computer I built from scratch was able to boot up, but there was some part that you actually didn't see. Melia, I'm gonna need you to enhance that monitor. What you see on screen listed in the BIOS is an i7 37700K with 4 GB of RAM, and that is like the holy jackpot of used computer parts. Well, I mean, except for the RAM. It's a little bit underwhelming, but it's the best that I could find around the shop. And with that, after much build up, the final specifications for Red Dragon are a quad-core Ivy Bridge i7 processor, an ASRock Z77 Extreme 4 motherboard, 4GB of DDR3 Mushkin RAM, a 1TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive, 2 Radeon 6670s in Crossfire, which we actually got to work, a 530W Rosebud Green Series 80 Plus power supply, and a bare Intech Landboy Airward case. Based off of FreeGeek's pricing sheet online, just for the heck of it, the individual costs of all the parts for Red Dragon would have totaled up to an incredible $150. Damn. Now, of course, that's just based off of the price sheet online, but the staff at FreeGeek personally told me that for more valuable parts, say like the i7 in this build, they would raise the price for that, since that is a more valuable processor. Now, moving on to day 3, I installed Windows 10 on Red Dragon and used a spare hard drive with all my Steam games on it to run and test out some of the hottest 2017 PC titles on Red Dragon. And the results were mixed. So remember, right, we're working with a system that has a top-of-the-line used i7 Ivy Bridge processor with 4 cores that can go to 3.9 GHz, 4GB of RAM, all the while cross-firing 2 low-end 6000 series AMD graphics cards that came out 6 years ago. So this isn't a miracle system by any means, but it's definitely an interesting one. For game testing, I just recorded the monitor screen and had MSI Afterburner running in the background, monitoring the frames per second of each game, and of course we can't forget about the keyboard and mouse that I used. So after some digging around the warehouse, I found this old Logitech gaming keyboard and mouse kit to use for my game testing, and I also did not overclock the 6670s because I tried doing that before and it did bode well for games like CSGO, so I left them at their stock speeds. But finally, here are the results. For the results, easy to run games like Dusk, Civilization, CSGO, and especially Minecraft didn't have any issues running on Red Dragon. This is probably due to the fact that those games are not graphically intense, which made it easy for my dual 6670s to run those games. Also, 4GB of RAM is very compatible with all 4 of those games, so that attributes as well to the better than expected frames per second. But as for the more challenging to run games like PUBG and Overwatch, either struggled a ton, or for the case of Overwatch, wouldn't even boot. And this is primarily due probably to the 4GB of RAM not working well with modern day PC games, as well as those outdated low-end 6670s not having anywhere near the graphical processing power to run modern PC games, even at 720p. So that brings us to our final question. Should you try to build a PC out of scratch from a warehouse full of used donated hardware? Probably not. You're not going to find anything amazing by any means. Clear as you can see, Red Dragon cannot run any modern 2017 PC titles that are graphically intensive that well, and it only has the capability of running those, simple, easy to run games that most low-end gaming PCs can run. The only PC that would be worth considering building in a situation like this would be limited to either a simple spare computer to run a server, or even a basic home theater computer. The best you're going to find with a CPU and a compatible motherboard in stock is going to be something based off of the LGA 775 series, or for the graphics card, the best you're going to find is like a low-end budget graphics card released 5 years ago. Plus, FreeGeek is donation-based, so the odds of finding the latest and greatest graphics card or high-end processor like the i7 in this build are going to be extremely low, since who want to give those away for free? Even though I thought I was able to find a spectacular CPU, the RAM and GPUs were not up to par in terms of their value. In the end though, if you want to find a reliable source for finding old used PC hardware then Free Geek is the place to be. You want to find an old used graphics card with lots of heritage? Then go for it. You want to find an old quad-core LGA 775 processor just for the heck of it? Then go for it. Either way, being in Free Geek was a computer hardware nerd's dream. Seeing a huge sea of PC parts and creating something amazing out of it is so fascinating to all of us. So even if you can't find anything good, just being there and helping out Free Geek's cause of saving old computer hardware is very satisfactory. Anyways, congrats to you who have made it to the end of this video, so congratulations. But yet again, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel and even hit that bell notification button. And also, all the links to Free Geek's social media pages, website, and donation pages are all linked below as well. And as always, this is the ScatterVolt channel, signing out.